What's up, guys? Houston here. Look, if you got an EIDL loan or SBA loan, okay, and say that your business isn't making no money and you can't pay it back, well, how do you actually deal with it? What is it that you can do? What are your legal rights in terms of how to be able to get out of this loan and in terms of what happens next? All right, so this video is definitely should be able to help you. Now, in terms of, I made a previous video in terms of how to get an SBA loan and stuff like that. You may want to check that one out, but just briefly understanding that, again, if you have a community bank or credit union, please make sure that you also have one of the major banks, which is Chase, because they report to Experian Business, Equifax Business, Small Business Financial Exchange share with Dun & Bradstreet. You have Citibank, which reports to Experian Business, Equifax Business, Small Business Financial Exchange, and Dun & Bradstreet. Then you have Capital One, okay, that reports to Experian Business, Equifax Business, Small Business Financial Exchange share with Dun & Bradstreet, okay? The reason those are my top three picks, the reason those are my top three picks is because they report to more business credit bureaus. Now, you do have American Express, which reports to Small Business Financial Exchange. You have U.S. Bank, you have Truist, Wells Fargo, Bank of America reports to Small Business Financial Exchange, okay? And in reference to dealing with SBA loans and stuff like that, they are going to pull that. Then they may tend to pull your Experian Business as well, all right? So that's the reason that you need one of these banks, because with your community banks and your TransUnion banks, as I stated in another video, is that actually those will not report your transactions, okay? And I also mentioned about the wrong NAICS codes. But again, let's talk about in terms of, say that you had went through the process and you got an EIDL loan, all right? Now we know that the PPP loan was forgiven, all right, following the right paperwork and stuff. But for many of us that got the EIDL loan, it was not forgiven. All right. However, because you may have had a business that was going and stuff, and then it stopped making revenue, and so you end up going out of business, but now you still owe the loan. Well, how do you even get out of that? Well, here's the thing about it. When trying to get out of EIDL loan, all right, one, you have to dissolve the business. All right. Now, here's something I must say. Sometimes if you're not able to make the payments, you can reach out to them and they will adjust their payments to make them smaller. All right. But if you still don't have the business and stuff like that, and the business ain't making no money, you have to properly dissolve the business. All right. And the way to do that, you have to go through your Secretary of State. All right, you have to go through your Secretary of State and fill out your dissolution paperwork, okay? You have to also close your bank account, all right? Now, here's another thing that's key. If the loan was less than $25,000, it was not a personal guarantee type of loan. All right, if it was over $25,000, it was a personal guarantee type of loan. Now, depending on the type of business, you know, what they're going to look at is collateral. What type of collateral was in the business? So depending on if it was for like a food truck or janitorial supplies and stuff, again, depending on the amount of the loan that they give you. If it was over $25,000, they're definitely going to be looking at equipment and stuff like that, you know, and they may also look at the personal credit to see, hey, you know, since it was over $25,000, then you still have to make arrangements or whatever. But again, here's the kicker to this. You have to understand. They decide to relieve you of this loan. This is very important. This may disqualify you for future loans as well from the SBA. So it may disqualify you from future loans from the SBA because of this here loan relief, all right? That's something you also have to take into consideration. So do I think I'm going to need another SBA loan in the future? You know, you can't tell the future or whatever, but at the same time, you know, you have this loan, you know you owe the money or whatever. I don't know what you did with it. You probably got the money because you was a DoorDash driver, or you were doing Uber Eats or something like that, right? But you still managed to qualify for the loan. Now, to my understanding, they had the loans and the grant. That's another thing. Was it a loan or was it a grant? There's two different things. Now, here's a bigger thing about it in reference to your Secretary of State. When you dissolve it, sometimes your Secretary of State may have you to file taxes, okay? And so when they have you to file taxes for that company, you have to take that loan as income, all right? You have to count that as income as well. And so many of us that may have taken these loans and said, well, you know, I can't pay it back, I'm going to dissolve it or whatever, but you still have to file your tax and you still have to count it as income. You don't just walk away from this loan, all right? So just keep that in mind. But again, like I said, in order to dissolve it, you do have to go through your Secretary of State, dissolve it. You have to close your bank account. And like I said, if it's under $25,000, they will forgive it. If it's over $25,000, then what they'll do, they will look at other assets you may have that they can liquidate to possibly get their money back. All right. Now, that's something that you really have to pay attention to and keep in mind. If you have any other questions about business credit funding, personal credit funding, removing negative items off your personal credit, click the link in the description. Schedule a one-on-one consultation. Thank you.